Grayness. Birds chirping. Voices murmuring. It took effort, but Nadia managed to peel her eyelids open. Wherever she was, the room was fuzzy, indistinct. Gradually, her vision cleared to where she could see a thin red hose hanging above her face. Following the hose, she discovered the bag of blood dangling overhead. Someone sniffed. She dropped her eyes to find a shadowy figure sitting hunched over in a chair at the foot of the bed. A hospital bed. I'm the patient. Surprise made her gasp as she tried to look around the room when the figure got to its feet and approached her. Ehrynn? In the dim light seeping through the partially open window blinds, she could barely make out the man staring down at her. She was instantly aware of his rough, good looks. Dark hair, dark eyes, square chin. She also noticed the redness and puffiness around those thickly lashed eyes. The man had been crying. Over her? Ehrynn, it's going to be all right. He placed a hand on her knee. Its warmth penetrated all the way to her core, and she realized she was cold. Almost in response, she shivered, and the man jerked his hand away. The door flew open, and a nurse hurried in. The man moved away to let the woman check the IV pump, standing out of sight. I heard her say something, the man explained. She just woke up. We were alerted at the station. The nurse leaned over and peered into Nadia's face. Mrs. Rose, can you hear me? Her voice cracked. Her throat felt shrunken, her tongue thick. The nurse nodded and reached behind her, bringing forward a large water jug with a plastic straw. Pressing it to Nadia's lips, she urged her to sip slowly. The cool water was a blessing going down, but it also made her colder. Another shudder went through her. The nurse wisely nodded. Feeling chilled? Want another blanket? Yes, please. The woman hit the button on the bed's inside panel to order a warm blanket for room 402. Behind the nurse, the man narrowed his eyes at her. Nadia felt her head begin to lift. This will help make you more comfortable, the nurse informed her, as another strode into the room with the blanket. The two women quickly unfolded it, tucking the ends underneath her. Nadia sighed contentedly. Better? The first nurse inquired. Nadia gave them a grateful smile. Yes, thanks. The strange man's look of surprise was unavoidable. A third nurse entered the room, passing nurse number 2, who left the room. This one pulled a cart along with her, which she parked on the opposite side of the bed. She drew Nadia's arm from underneath the covers to clip an oxygen meter onto her finger. Nadia glanced down and, for the first time, noticed the thick bandage circling her wrist like a large white cuff. She started to lift it to examine it closer when the first nurse extricated her other arm to check where the drip was inserted inside her elbow. An exact duplicate of the large cuff bandage wrapped her other wrist as well. If I didn't know any better, it looks like I tried to commit suicide.